people.
Yeah, exactly.
We've gone live. I've not even bothered with the intro because the conversation was interesting.
We were just enjoying our conversation. I see you got a nice Hoover in the background there, Viv.
Hoover?
Yeah, is it a handle of the Hoover?
Yeah, it's a handle of the Hoover. Yeah.
Is it a Dyson?
No, it's a Jimmy the Hoover.
Jimmy the Hoover.
I thought it was a walking cane.
What was that, William?
I thought it was a cane. I was going to ask her, what did you do that you need a cane to help walk?
Listen, I'm not that old. I'm old.
Jimmy the Hoover.
You don't have to be old. Just infirm.
Like me.
Hold on, I'm going to yell at somebody.
Hi, you Sarah. I hope you're doing well.
Okay.
You're not shouting at Rita, are you?
Yeah.
Leave the woman alone. She's done nothing to you. I'll stick up for you, Rita. Hello, William. How are you this evening?
I'm great. And any of our earlier conversation that got on live, I apologize. I don't do politics on the air in professional settings. So.
It didn't get on. You're fine.
Okay,
you're fine.
Good.
So
it's great to see all of you.
It's great to see you, William. So as you guys can see out there, we got the lovely William Becker with us this evening. Hiya, Rita. And we're going to have a chat with him about all sorts of weird, wonderful things and some lovely things as well, because he's a lovely man and we do enjoy speaking to him. He's one of our favourites. And we're just going to get into it, I think. William, are you good?
It depends on what you're asking about.
Just in general.
In general, I'm good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you.
No,
I was
you're
trying
more
to
than
make
welcome.
a joke. It fell flat. Sorry.
That's fine. My intros and everything that I do on it does fall flat anyway, so don't worry about it. Hi, you Ian. Ian's in the chat, Viv.
Oh, is he in? Oh, we're speaking to Ian tonight. He's a good bloke, he is.
So, Eric, have you got any questions for William? Seeing as you've not really spoke to William before, I'll put you on the spot there, haven't I, mate? Sorry.
No, I'm confused, so you're not right this second.
Not right, is it? Viv, have you got any questions for young William?
Lots and lots and lots.
Start then. Start your commands and questions.
Lots. I'll start my probing now. Are you ready, William?
I'm scared.
With probing, I would be.
Don't be.
You forget, I know you. I'm scared.
That's true.
He's got the upper hand.
Before we went live, we were just talking about, I know we've touched on this before in previous conversations, but for those that don't know, can you tell people about your encounter with a cryptid near where you live? Tell them where you live. Well, not where you live, but the area you live, where you are, and how you saw it, and the communication that you had. Honestly, is out of this world. Just tell everyone, because I think this story is amazing.
I will, and if it gets too long, cut me off.
No, you carry on. We love it.
I've been interested in Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call him, since outdoor school, I think in 5th or 6th grade, where you spend a week at a camp and for school and they tell stories around the campfire, and one was about Bigfoot and scared us rightly to death as we had to walk back in the dark to our cabins. But I'm somebody that has to see it to believe it. I'm highly skeptical, but I'm also a believer. But I've physically experienced, in ways I can't explain away, the things I believe in. And I've had some telepathic communications that I've tried to do with them over the years, just flying over forest land where I thought they might be or whatever. And a friend of mine took us on an expedition, it's been several years now, to an area about 2 hours from me. I live in the Portland, Oregon area, the west coast of the United States, part of the Ring of Fire. I've got volcanoes within 50 miles. Wow. It sleeps. Mount St. Helens doesn't sleep, but it's pointed the other way and it's a little further away. But while I was there, we kept having a variety of experiences that just seemed unusual. Um, Footsteps in the campground when there was nobody around. Um, oh, like fingernails going across our tents at night. Um, and nothing threatening, just kind of there. And the one night of the trip, the group of us, now this is out in the woods in the middle of nowhere, but not too far. It's a half an hour drive to get hot food and running water. Maybe a little less, but um, we were walking down the gravel road at night, and there was a lot of other activity going on. I could sense the Fae around. I saw some, and at one point, you know what it's like when you're in the dark and you've been on a dusty road, and then the headlight beams pick up all the dust particles,
Yeah.
kind of streaming there.
Yeah.
Well, it was like that. Only there wasn't a flashlight even going, no headlights. There wasn't enough of a moon to create the light, and they were self-illuminating and
Wow.
moved down towards us, and you could see them kind of, they'd come past people and they wouldn't go through them, they'd go around, and kept going down the road further than us. And I wasn't the only one who saw them. I think one other person did. And it's like, okay, cool. Thank you. I'm always honored when they let me have those experiences. And we also saw some larger balls of light around some of the plants and a few things. A few more people saw that. And as we were walking down, off to my right, I saw behind a thin line of trees, I saw what looked like a tall animal or a tall human-like being walking back and forth behind the trees. But there's a little bit of a breeze. The trees were bending and blowing, and it looked like this entity was going against the way the trees were bending, but it was too uncertain. I wasn't going to say that was anything. And we kept going, and then there was a family of them, I could tell, on the side. Mother, father, and adolescent daughter.
Wow.
And communication is telepathic. They were very intelligent. And the person who put our trip together has had a lot of experiences with them and is very kind and gentle about it. He really wants to have more visual. He'd like to be able to shake hands or hold hands or something at some point. And he almost had the daughter and even the mother okay with it. And the father said, no good follows man. And, we were camped next to a rock quarry on a Forest Service road. They had good example of a certain amount of destruction of nature. I mean, it's well done. It's not like it was destroyed. It was there to help preserve it, but still. But we had quite a conversation with that. And then on the way back, I was at the end of the line. And those lights that we saw came streaming back the other way. And again, they started back further than where we came from. So it certainly wasn't dust from our footsteps. Plus, again, there was no external lighting source. They had to be internally lit. And we got up to right about where this quarry was, where I saw this being the first time, or thought I did. And this time there was no wind at all. Everything was completely still. And he was in front of the tree lines, and he was walking back and forth. And I watched him for 30 seconds a minute. I don't know how long. It was too dark to pictures, and I wasn't going to take one anyway. They made it clear they don't want proof of their existence. But he let me see him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they also told me, no, they confirmed that they're interdimensional. The Fae in the area also confirmed that, just like they are. They come in and out of this other parallel universe, dimension, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure. My quantum physics isn't good enough to really
Sure.
do enough explaining. And I thanked him, of course, and I went on up to camp and told everybody. And now this was just, I don't know, half a football pitch from where our tents were set up, maybe less. And it was a very awe-inspiring experiment. But they told us that's why you don't find bones and graves, and you don't find a lot of really clear footprints. You get a little bits of stuff now and again, but you don't get a bunch of stuff with DNA. You don't get scat. You don't get all this kind of stuff because they know what happens. They know they get shot. They know they get trapped and put in zoos or hung on walls. And they're very close to human. I mean, the intellect, the thinking abilities, the movement, I don't know what to call them, but they have hearts and souls.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think their souls doing all the work I do as a medium. I haven't run across any of those souls where the human souls go. But I don't expect to. A lot of times those are different places, I think. But I haven't really worked on it that much or thought about it. But it was awe-inspiring. And then my guides told me, my ancient ones, okay, now you know, move on. You don't need to do this anymore.
Yeah.
William, how did you feel when you saw them and you was having that level of communication? How did you feel personally?
Mostly pretty calm. There's a little bit of an edge to that. It's because you're dealing with something that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little bit more of the edge in camp when they were right outside your tents. Or they seem like it. We don't know for sure, but something was there. But it really was a very peaceful, calm experience. And even in camp, when there was a little bit of an edge, it was easy. It's like, no, they've made it real clear they're not here to hurt us. If they wanted to hurt us, they could have a long time ago.
Yeah.
We're safe. You become a little bit thankful in a sense that maybe they'll help keep the cougar and bear away. Because that and other humans are what I fear in the woods a lot, especially at night. And so
that is just amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That is phenomenal. Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
And
we went back the next year. My friend Vivian went with us that time. And as we were packing up and leaving, a pebble hit him square in the chest. And there was nobody around him or in front of him.
I know why that happened. Because Devon is ginger.
Wouldn't that have been a rock, though?
No, just a pebble's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. Is this enough to say, you're too close, get away, I don't like you. You're a ginger.
Actually,
William was all right, so he didn't get one.
We were on the way out, basically, and I think it was, I'm here, you didn't see one of us, but we are here. Welcome, and now you've had your experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it didn't hurt. I mean, it wasn't thrown hard enough to hurt him.
William, I've got a question from somebody in the chat called Tim.
Okay. Hi, Tim.
Man. Dan's
Actually,
glasses
no,
are
not
not
really.
working.
What's that? Sorry,
You're supposed to read that out, Dan.
I've got kids shouting in the background. Sorry,
Oh, sorry. Go on.
William. Has it changed your outlook on life, and if so, in what way? Hopefully, it's for the better. None of your business. Tim.
Tim, what was that last part? You said, Dan?
Hopefully, it's for the better.
Okay, I heard that. I thought you made a comment at the end of it.
Yeah.
I said
yeah.
none of your business, Tim.
Okay. It didn't really. It did in the sense that I have confirmation now, and it helps me to know that all these conversations I've had at 35,000 feet and different things are probably real, not an imagination. But I've been working with Fae, elementals, whatever name you want to get them, for quite a while. I saw the first one of those several years ago. I've seen a few of them physically, and not just in the UK, but here.
Jason.
Salute him.
It helped add to the respect and give me a little more confidence in what I was reading and picking up, because I got what appears to be confirmation. Now, I'm open to there being another explanation, but I racked my brains over it, and I've been up to the area a couple times, and I can't find one. I know it sounds far-fetched, but hey, I talk to dead people, so
Yeah, we're
I
going to
don't
get
think
to
it's
that.
far-fetched. I don't
We're
think it's
going to get
far-fetched.
to that. We're going to get to that dead people thing in a minute.
Okay.
And apparently,
it's-
from what I've seen, a lot of people that have had people that have had experiences with them have had them on the sort of metaphysical. They've had them through sort of mind transference.
Yeah.
So it's been speaking
The
to.
communication.
Sorry. Yeah.
The communication is, I call it telepathic. Maybe there's a better phrase for it.
Telepathic. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. But I was very aware of where I was. I mean, I wasn't taken to a portal to a different place. He was very much in ours. Now it was dark, but there was enough light from the sky that we didn't need flashlights once our eyes got used to it. And so I didn't see a lot of detail, even though he wasn't. Oh, he was less than a football pitch away from me.
Wow.
Maybe half, maybe 3/4, give or take. I'm horrible at distance, so it really
That's close
wasn't very
enough.
far.
Eric, what was you going to say?
Well, it makes me wonder why so many people say that they're violent and stuff like that. If that part is true, that they're kind and at least generous, but then why are so many people having? Is it a different species of it? You know what I mean?
They're like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You get some that aren't nice, and you get people that aren't nice, and you get people that are. I was from 30,000 feet observing some teenage males that were aware of me coming, trying to talk with them and such, and they weren't overly nice.
Wow.
But they were teenage males with lots of testosterone.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go in to antagonize. They start banging on wood. They start using calls that they don't even know what they say. They start tricking and treating them like animals. And I'd get pretty pissed off.
Yep.
And so I think our behavior has a lot to do with it. And our whole group, we were very respectful. Let's see, the group leader had a handgun. Nobody else had a firearm. He had one because we are in the woods. Some to protect from maybe nefarious people, but mostly, although using a handgun to shoot a cougar is just at a cougar or a bear, you're going to miss.
Yeah.
You're going to make them mad. But it was he was somebody I trusted enough that I wasn't too concerned about the gun in camp.
Mr.
And nobody
Hassler,
was drinking, nobody was smoking drugs or anything.
Mr. Hassler, I hope you're listening to this, because when I get there to see
You
William,
drafted it.
you're taking me up that Mount St. Helens job to do this.
That was the wrong. Well, yeah. If Richard.
Oh, it's Richard, isn't it? Not Jason.
Yeah, Richard's the one that
Tell
said
the
he's
brother.
Warn him,
Mind you.
Jason. Warn him.
Well, can I just say about Jason, he is a great paranormal investigator, and he's got his own team out there as well.
Yeah.
And while I was out there in Oregon, I did a thing with William at the Seaside Conference, and they do this thing where they've got a raffle, but you put your name down, get a ticket with each prize that you want to win. Anyway, his team had this hat there. It said Ghost Hunter. And I thought, oh, that's cool. I'd like to win that. And I only went and won it, didn't I? So, Jason, thank you very much for my cap. I treasure that, and it is with me. Dan tried to nick it, but
she tried to sell it to me, to be honest with you, and I said no.
Sorry about that. Had to give Jason a shout.
Jason and Richard are really wonderful human beings and good people.
I just want to say here that Charles Rudd.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Do you want to read that out, Eric?
Sorry, I was asking William if he agrees that Sasquatch are true empathic beings.
Oh. I think they pick up on what we're feeling, and they can recognize people with good intent and bad intent. I don't think what I consider or hear of usually as an empath, where they put on and feel the other person's feelings. I don't know about that. I don't have any evidence of that. There could be some, and especially in their own species, but that hasn't been my experience. But I do believe that they can tell, okay, this person means well and is trustworthy, and others aren't. I still haven't disclosed the location. I've taken a couple people up who, by the time we've gotten back down, have no idea where we were. And so I've honored my commitment to not tell, and I don't publicly. So
Jamie's on watching. He's another hairy guy. He could be Sasquatch, but he's not very tall.
But I totally agree with that. I don't think you should dispose or enclose any information where it is or anything like that. It needs to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's their home. We're the intruders. And
definitely.
So I have another question. So I'm going to lead you in a different direction now, away from Sasquatch.
Okay.
And it is communication with the ancients. So you do this amazing thing, and I've seen it firsthand, where you go off and all of a sudden it looks like you're talking to yourself, but you're not. And whether you're filming or you just happen to be in a place, but straight away you connect with the ancients, wherever you are in the world. Can you tell us a little bit about that and who it is you're speaking to, what you see? Using the UK as an excuse, because I know you love it over here, and you did that over here not too long ago.
Yeah. Longer ago than I like, but not too long ago. It's interesting because it's just part of me and part of what I do. I love history. I have a bachelor's degree in it. I don't call myself a historian. I don't have that level of expertise. But maybe an amateur student is as far as I'd go that way. But it's a passion, especially ancient history. And I like meeting and talking to people and getting their stories. And I'm pretty open-minded. I don't care if they're breathing or not. And going into a place where you can watch what happened 5,000 years ago, and then sometimes there are people there that you can communicate with, or at least you get the story of what's happening from the place, even if it's not directly from an individual. And over at Flag Fen, I think that's a place that Vivian was probably talking about. It's, I don't know, half hour from your house, maybe?
Yeah, not even that, is it, really?
No, it's really quite close. And just the two of us went there. There weren't many people around. And you watch the people in boats. You watch the people walking on the causeways. You see the houses on the mounds. Because Flag Fen area, Fenland it used to be pretty much marshland. And even in the Neolithic, they were draining areas for farming and stuff. But you have a series of basically little higher knolls with lower marshy areas, and they'd have causeways built to a lot of them. This is 3000 BC or 3000 years ago in some cases. And you see the village layout, and it helps take you back to the time without all the physical hardships or smells. I've done it in places like temples in Egypt where you can tell, okay, these priests know this is all a sham, but it makes us rich and powerful.
Yeah.
These priests know it's a sham, but it's how they provide unity in a country and keep people together so that they can have a prosperous, safe life. Create a sense of community. There are others that were it's a sham, part it isn't, and then others that totally believed everything. And in one of those, I was a minor priest that believed more than I should have, but I believed a lot and didn't question as much as I should have. But I was a minor priest, so you get things like that, or you stumble into your own past lives in other ways. At Stonehenge, I was watching them build. I don't know if it was the cursus or some of the mounds. There was something back a little ways. And then there was a back, and I just noticed, I said, that's my back. I saw myself helping to dig at one of the locations. And this was before the stones were in. This was in the early development of the site. Again, burial mounds, perhaps, maybe the cursus or something. Some of the first markings on that landscape. So we're talking 3,000, 3,500 BC, maybe. And it's awe-inspiring. I'm very grateful, especially when there are things I can prove later, like seeing Jacobite and Roundheads on the street corner in Sligo, and then finding out, they both had been there. I mean, things like that. I wasn't sure, it's Ireland. I wasn't sure just who got where in some of those wars. And I love it. I write about it. I've got a few books brewing that need to come out, and I've got 2 books out, which you can find on Amazon. And
we have a question from Jamie for William.
okay. Uh-huh.
William, I forgot to ask you, when I was on your show, how is your guide, please?
How is my guide?
Yeah.
I think my guide is fine. I don't know if that's quite what you mean, Jamie. I'm certain of what I do. I'm not even aware of the guides most of the time. People tell me about them. Now, when I'm sitting and looking for advice, direction, I have a guide at the Akashic Record, and then I've got my ancient ones who are wisdom figures that I talk to. Although they haven't been quite as available lately, and I'm not quite sure what that's about. Well, it's because I don't sit enough. I know what it's about. But they're interesting. They tell me like it is, and I'm very grateful for them. And some of them, like my record, my guide at the record, we've had lives together. The ancient ones, not so much. I don't think they've actually ever come in. They're in human form.
Oh, Jamie says, sorry, but he's very thick. What is he?
We know he is. No, he's not.
I'm joking, Jay. Love you, really, man.
Okay.
Yeah, what is he or her or she? I'm guessing. Yeah.
Mine have all pretty much been male humans or male humanoid. Like I say, the wisdom guides, I don't think have ever been incarnated, but they are in that form, the form of human men.
That's interesting.
Is it possible to have a guide that's not human?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People, or it might be a human in another form or something, but people have a variety of animals as guides, especially in Native American traditions.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of it might be our own minds helping to put the guide in a shape that's relatable to us. That's a thought that just popped in that is not quite even a theory yet. It's
I know that
something that might
when
be
I
worth
was
exploring.
first sitting in circle and first went into my first lot of training, I worked with animal guide first before I got to meet my guide. So yeah, it is interesting. I mean, I know that animal guide is always with me. I've got two.
Okay.
But yeah, the other one is quite important to me because he was the first one that appeared and spoke to me and helped me and put me at ease. But
Yeah.
it
the guide-
is weird.
And the guides that we have, they may be people we knew at some point.
Yeah.
They may be people from our soul group.
Oh, you.
They may not be. They may not have any relationship to us at any time at all. It just it's a good fit for us now.
Yeah.
And so I don't think there is a hard and fast rule about who and what they are and what to expect.
I still got
Nettie's here.
Hi, Nettie.
You're my co-host next Tuesday, I believe.
Oh yes, you
Or
two are.
I'm
Oh yes,
your
you two are.
co-host or something like
That
that.
should be good.
I still have to figure out my spirit guides too.
You will.
I got told mine once, but I don't know. I sat in circle for quite some time with a. Oh, there you go, Charles.
See, I'm uncomfortable in circles like that. You know, I rather talk to people that I trust and know. You know?
Wait till you get over here.
Yeah,
I got to know the people, and she was both of them were very good mediums. You know, very good mediums, and I sat in circle with them. They ran this circle, and the first time I sat in circle, she said that she thought when I came in and sat down, it sounds mental. I know it sounds mental, but she said that walked in around and behind me, and she thought it was my guide, or she said she thinks it's my guide, or it's my guide. was of all things a man of the woods. But she said that this man was green like foliage, like a tree.
Mhm.
And I don't know what that means. I don't really.
That's got to be fair or close to it.
It's got to be something along there. I didn't know what she meant. Like a man, like a somebody in camouflage, or did she
Or a
mean
tree
somebody,
ent,
or a
tree spirit.
tree spirit, or I didn't really know. But I said something silly. But I just thought I'd mention it because I didn't realise you could have a guides that weren't human. I know people have animals, spirit guides and stuff that are animals. I didn't know you could have anything that was sort of the esoteric kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Ian said.
That's interesting, Ian. That's nice. That's nice.
But I won't
Yeah.
alone, so
I think there's a lot of flexibility there. One of the things I do with students sometimes is take them through a guided meditation where they can meet their own spirit guides, or their own guides. I don't even necessarily like the term spirit guide because it's setting up a picture, and there are guides for so many different kinds of things.
Yeah.
And they're kind of guides to helping us develop our souls. My thinking is our basic purpose is on down here is to be in the development or in the process of becoming our whole complete self. Very Greek, Greek philosopher, the whole telos idea with each acorn is a very individual oak tree. And then that process continues between lives too. And we reach a state of not necessarily perfection in who we are, but becoming close enough to that, that then we can participate maybe a little more fully. That's not the right phrase. I can see it, but I can't explain it. Where we're in a unique pinpoint of light in the universe, but we're also connected. No, it's paranormalinsights.net.
Oh, let me put that in there.
Yeah. And so Scripture talks about in one place, the Bible anyway, and this is also an example about why you should never just take it word for word. There's a spot that says, be perfect like your Father is perfect. It's in the Gospel someplace, I don't remember where. Well, the word perfect is the best translation we have because it's the word that it's in the original, we don't even have a tense for. It means the process of becoming whole, complete, and mature. Doesn't mean you don't make mistakes. It basically means be in the process of becoming your full, complete, mature self. And I think that's a really good way of looking at life. And that doesn't mean that we go around and excuse ourselves for being jerks. That's not being a whole, complete, mature self. That's working out of a lot of issues that need good therapy for, basically. Or something else. But that's what I see the journey as, and it keeps continuing, and that gives some purpose to life.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I agree with that.
In that case, with you teaching, do you think like somebody can do like most of what you do, all of what you do? Does it just have to be natural?
I don't think. Well, I think everybody's a psychic. They just need to allow those abilities to develop. There are lots of pigeonholes for things,
Mm.
and I don't like all the pigeonholing, but at the same time, sometimes it's a little bit convenient. What people tell me is psychic is anybody that can detect the presence of entities. I use the word entity instead of spirit
Yeah.
for lots and lots of reasons. For one, it's not so defining.
Yeah.
And a medium is somebody who can communicate with them. And I'm a medium.
Okay.
So mediums are psychics, but not all psychics are mediums.
Yeah.
But I believe we all have that in our basic DNA, at least the psychic piece. I think it's part of what helped keep us alive in the caveman days, especially before we had language.
Yep.
You know, human language is only 30,000, 60,000 years old. I have to double check. I can't remember exactly, but it's there. We're not exactly sure when it started, but we've been around longer than language has.
Yeah.
As a species, even Homo sapiens. And so there had to have been some kind of an innate sense that helped us to communicate, helped keep us from getting eaten by the wildlife or conked on the head by the neighboring tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that's part of it. This is speculation. We have no proof of that. It's called prehistoric for a reason.
Nettie says, I think mine is a dog. I have pictures at home and miles away that contain the same black dog. Is it a guide or protector?
No, it's your guide dog. Get it? Guide dog?
Yeah, I get it. I like it. It could actually just be a dog that you knew at some point in life that really liked you, or it could be a ghost dog that really likes you. I mean, it could be a guide or a protector It could be an entity that just thinks, oh, she's cool.
Mhm.
Let's hang out sometimes.
Yeah, either that or she's always pissed.
Yeah.
And then like a beer.
Okay, that could be too. Maybe it's an
I'd be the
emotional
same as
support.
Nettie if I could, honestly. No, she's not
Yeah.
really. She's great, Nettie is. She knows I'm only joking.
It could be an emotional support ghost.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm only half
Much
joking when I
good.
say that. Thank you,
Thanks,
Sarah. Okay,
Thank
I
you,
feel
Rita.
like I got off track here someplace.
Oh no, we were just talking about the
Hi,
ability.
you there, Mr. Woo Riders Dog or Riders DG from Florida. Hello there.
Okay, Eric, what was it?
Oh, we were just talking about if somebody can learn what you do. You know,
Oh,
you were talking about how most people have that ability ingrained in them.
and so everybody has different specialties and how they can develop. So I'm not the only one that does what I do by any means. And you know, I don't look at myself as anything special. I'm not going to say everybody can do what I do, but a lot of people can. And a lot of people can do other things, and there are people that can do things I don't do. I don't do trance work. My guide said, no, you don't need to do that.
Take it easy, Ian. Take it easy, buddy.
I know people who do trance work. I've watched it, and I won't out them publicly unless they want to be. But
You can if you want to.
well, one case is Vivian, but I know others as well. But Vivian's one I've seen in action, and I know some other mediums.
Dan hasn't seen it.
What?
Dan hasn't seen it.
Okay, well then
Oh, really?
What is
I don't need to. I'm in a trance most of the time anyway.
chance? What is that? What is the terminology? What does it mean?
A trance medium, and Vivian, I should probably really just let you say this.
No, you can say it.
Okay, well, correct me if or add to it. A trance medium is somebody who actually allows the entity to come in and speak through them. And basically, that's in a nutshell type of a definition. There can be more to it than that, I think. Whereas I listen to what they say or show me and then relay that message in my own voice. A trance medium often will be speaking in a different voice even.
Wow.
The facial expressions change a lot of times. It depends on who has entered the medium, how deep they are into the process. I mean, there are just lots of different pieces to it, I would think.
Yeah, spot on, Ian. Spot on, William.
Okay, good, thank you. And I thought about it, that it'd be interesting, but it's just not something I need to do.
Yeah.
And I've always been, I'm Capricorn, I'm German, I'm British, and I'm Finnish.
Wow.
Control. Being in control of myself is big. And I don't want somebody else in there.
Because if they decide they like where they are, they could choose to stay. And I don't care what any trans medium says, it is a form of possession.
I was going to say, I think that's possession, isn't it? Because even,
Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily have to be this demon thing. It can be a human soul that possesses, can't it, And they can cause all sorts of trouble as well, I'm guessing.
And you need to be comfortable with the people that you're with. Like with William there, I knew I was in the safest of hands, so I didn't mind doing it. Though I think I made a bit of a show. Well, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. But there was a young lady that got a lot of attention, a lot of attention that night. So
Oh yeah, from the captain or the.
But anyhow, never mind
Yeah.
about enough of me. It's about William tonight.
Oh no, that was fascinating to watch. It really was. And Gail and I still talk about her paramour, and so it's kind of fun. Yeah, and this was done in a haunted house, but the guy that came through was probably not. He could have been associated with the house, but there was a good chance he wasn't, considering the time frame and where he was from. It's possible, but he could have been somebody that just latched on to the British medium. I tell you, British mediums sell over here.
How much will we get for Viv?
You're trying to pick me out now.
No,
Listen,
I
you two,
just mean
behave yourselves. Right,
just,
guys,
tickets for events, they do sell.
They do.
Right, listen, guys, we've got 5 minutes left of the show.
Uh-oh.
So what I want to do before we finish is, William, do you have any events or anything coming up in your local area, or what's happening? Can you just give it a plug?
Yeah. Go to my Para Insights Facebook page, which you might be able to get. At one point, you could get from my web page.
Yeah.
But my web page I can't get into anymore, so it's so far out of date, it's embarrassing. But I have a workshop I'm doing at Port Gamble. I think it's Saturday the 27th. And then I'm doing a gallery reading in Garibaldi, which is on the Oregon coast.
Dan, that's not a biscuit.
No.
I'm a Danny Baldy.
That's at the end of August, Saturday. They're scheduled at this point. For the Port Gamble one, get your tickets sold in soon. I have a minimum number that I need to make sure I sell, and if I don't
Daniel.
within a certain period of time, I'll pull it. But these are expensive for me to do, so I have to make sure that the audience is good enough, or big enough.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Um,
Paranormal Insights.
yeah, .net.
No, your Facebook page.
Oh no, Para Insights. You see
All
what
one word.
I think it's 2.
Hiya, Daniel. Hope you're doing well, bud. Look forward to see you Saturday.
Yeah. There's a long story about why it's para instead of paranormal. I won't go into it now.
There you go.
But and then I do the third Sunday of each month. I do psychic development classes. 1 month it's in Oregon City, Coffee Rush, and the next month it's in Vancouver, Washington, not BC, at the Underbar. And it's they're fun, they're interesting. I'm open. I love doing classes anywhere. I'll travel anywhere as long as we get enough people and we can set up an event that covers the cost and a little bit more, hopefully.
Nico, it's William's show on Saturday night. It's now early, 9 o'clock on this channel. Be there or be square.
Be there or be square.
And there is a little thing called a Bigfoot conference happening on Saturday as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You have one, don't you, on Saturday?
Yeah.
We've just had a couple of them here.
I know.
I didn't go to any of them, but
well, we'll go next year. We're going to a few, William. I'm going to drag you. We can have a nice picnic, sit and talk to hairy people. Not Bigfoots. I'm talking about hairy people.
Hairy people.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds
Right.
good.
So
as long as it's not 100 degrees outside.
that's true. That is true. So before we wind the show up tonight, I want to thank everybody in the chat for tuning in. I want to thank William. I want to thank Dan, who's behaved himself tonight.
I have, because I was interested, you see.
Oh, so you only go quiet when you're interested in
yeah, you lot bore me. That's why I'm like a child who's on eats loads of different number colours and stuff.
And Eric, thank you very much as well as usual. You have been a rock to us. And
always.
Eric is back. Eric will be back next Tuesday. When are you next on, Eric? Tuesday night, is it?
And tomorrow night.
Are you on Tuesday with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Eric will look after you, William. Don't panic. Next Tuesday, what we're talking about is the Simply Spooky show will be on the Things Network, and will stream to Simply Spooky as well. And their subject next week that they'll be talking about is voodoo. Hoodoo.
I have been to Marie Levin's house in New Orleans.
So this is going to be an interesting talk.
That'll be interesting.
Yes. So tomorrow night, guys,
I'd love to see that house.
Tomorrow night, guys, Dan's show will be on with Eric and Tim.
Young Tim.
And you are talking about
weird stuff. We're talking about the fairy coffins from Edinburgh.
About the what?
Fairy coffins from Edinburgh that were discovered in about, I think it was 1820s or 30s. They were discovered by some children. Fairy coffins. Coffins. Tiny little coffins with little dolls in them. But they were
coffins.
Yeah,
my
they were
ears.
quite roughly made, but there was a lot of work went into them. It's an interesting subject. It is fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
Nobody really knows the truth behind it.
I think Tim's subject. So this is going to be an interesting.
Tim picked it this week. Yeah, Tim picked this week.
Yeah, thank you, Tim.
And then on Friday night, I have to give these guys a really big shout.
That's
Nettie,
a good one.
Ian, and Bri will be back with their Friday Night Freak Show, because they are freaky people.
Good show. Friday night, yes.
It's a good show. So if you haven't seen it before, try and tune in. If not, you can watch it on Catch Up. We never take anything down. Everything's on YouTube and on the network itself. But also, before we go, I have to mention the Dark Mirror Boys on a Monday night. Brilliant show, crazy, fun, emotional, good laughs. Is a great show. So if you're feeling down on Monday, or you have Monday blues because you have to go back to work after the weekend, I really do suggest tune in to some Monday mayhem. That's all I'll say. It's brilliant. It's good fun. And with that, we have come to the end of the show, guys. We will get William back at some point. He's not a stranger to us anyway. So but we need to do more probing of William Becker. This is just the start, I believe. What do you think, guys?
I am even more scared.
Hi, Kelly.
Actually, I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed the time. So thank you, all three of you, very much.
Thank you, William. It's been lovely. It always is. Good night, everybody. Thanks ever so much.
Goodbye, everybody.
Take it easy. Stay safe.